Jeff Bezos is regarded as a terrible, terrible boss. We mean, come on, his workers have to pee in water bottles, for the love of God. But it turns out he's kind of a good boss too, if you're rich. In today's video, we're going to talk about how Bezos paid $800,000 to a private preschool executive. We'll also talk a little bit about this private school of his. Make sure to stay until the end to learn all about it. First up, horrible boss to many, good boss to some. Doesn't matter who you are or where you live. Chances are that you know who Jeff Bezos is. And chances are that his company Amazon has changed your life. No, not that Amazon. That has all kinds of trees and species. The kind of Amazon with all the things you could have ever wanted. Anyway, he's not really a good boss. His workers are under so much scrutiny, and their targets are so unrealistic that they pee in water bottles to save time and meet those targets. Really, Jeff? All this, and you're still not richer than the edgelord Elon Musk? Anyway, this union-busting billionaire is known for his abusive management practices. But if you're a handful of people who run his super tiny, experimental preschool, then the Baron of Cheap Goods is quite the generous boss man. According to tax documents seen by the financial media outlet Bloomberg, Jeff paid a former Amazon exec almost $1 million to manage his Des Moines, Washington Bezos Academy. Basically, the school describes itself as building a network of tuition-free, Montessori-inspired preschools in underserved communities. According to reports, the network had a whopping number of 13 students in just one location in 2021. And Bezos paid Michael George, an Amazon crony, the pricey sum of $800,500 to run it for that year. And if that wasn't enough, he got almost $30,000 in benefits as well. Oh man, come on. Managing 13 kids for almost $1 million? Where the heck can we sign up for a gig like that? Don't be shy, tell us. Next up, a little bit more about this hefty sum. So here's how we got to know. From the annual tax form that was filed by Jeff Bezos' nonprofit. This document was then analyzed by Bloomberg. Oh, and the cherry on top? He received a very similar compensation in 2022. Now, why does this surprise us? Well, because during that time, the schools weren't open at all. Wow. You know what they say? Make rich friends. Georgie, is it okay if we call him Georgie? No? Okay. George is currently the president of the academy. This academy's motto is light every fire. Oh, that's cool. We thought it would be bust every union, to be honest. According to the Academy's website, Mike has built and led innovative businesses and services. Work done by Mike has changed how we work, live, and shop. And Mike actually spent more than a couple of decades at Amazon. Over there, he led businesses such as Echo, Alexa, and the App Store. Who's going to tell them that these businesses aren't profitable or good to begin with? Like, come on, how useful is Echo really? And his intro on the website does get really cheeky as well. According to it, his favorite kids' book is Brown Bear, What Do You See? Well, apparently not a union. Okay, sorry. Last one. And while George makes a lot, and we mean a lot of money, let's not forget that this isn't the norm in education. Harvard University's president, Lawrence Bacow, made $912,000 in 2021. So it kinda makes sense. But then again, in the fall of 2021, Harvard had 25,000 students, and this academy had 13. Now, for the justifications. Is this amount of money really justified for this role? Because to get this kind of compensation, you'd have to compare yourself to higher education organizations, not preschools. Now, some folks may argue that any one preschooler is worth a lot more than any 5 Harvard students. What if this preschool shapes kids to be the next tech billionaire? What if this school is working to produce the next Mark Zuckerberg or the next Elon Musk? So comparing compensation in this way is kind of illogical. It's meaningless. Now here's the thing. We're not saying that Jeff shouldn't pay his equally bald bestie such an immense salary in the pursuit of academic excellence. That's not what we're saying at all. But we are saying that maybe, just maybe, it could be a good idea to share some of that generosity with the thousands of Amazon workers claiming the company has wronged them at nearly every turn. Now, there are a lot of other folks that too are expected to get a chunk of his money. He's joined the latest billionaire fad of promising to give most of his money away while he's still alive. So many of his close friends and colleagues will be running his charities, and chances are they'll be paid quite heavily. Again, folks, we're not saying that Mike shouldn't make all this money. He really should. We're saying that, rather than focusing too much on charity, maybe help those working out in your warehouses first. Because what really is the point of charity if the money was made by forcing folks to work in terrible conditions? What's more, Bezos is a forever runner-up. Unfortunately for Jeff, he'll always be runner-up when it comes to charity, because Mr. Congeniality's ex-wife, Mackenzie Scott, has already given billions upon billions to charity once she split with the Amazon founder. And she did it long before he finally claimed that he'd gotten his own giving in gear with fellow billionaires. And while Bezos was probably hoping to get some good publicity, news came out that his ex-wife parted with another $2 billion in the past 7 months. So that ended up eclipsing his very public announcement. Now, let's get back to George's salary. So after a study from an independent firm, it was found that his salary falls within a reasonable range of competitive market practices. Does it though? Oh, and this is just the president. Another former Amazon exec on the pre-K staff was paid $463,000 in 2021. So turns out, yes, Bezos loves paying former Amazon white-collar staff huge sums of money for running his school. And let's see how these salaries keep up, considering that they plan to open up 15 more schools by the end of 2023. Now with that out of the way, folks, let's talk about this school. Let's talk about who it's for and how it's run. First and foremost, a school brought to you by Amazon. Okay, not really. This school doesn't have anything to do with Amazon. It's just founded by the company's founder, and it's run by ex-employees from that company. But that's about it. So Bezos' preschool system is quietly expanding all across the country. It's known as Bezos Academy, and it's completely tuition-free. It opened up its first location in Des Moines, Washington in 2020. Now, it's ready for new locations all across the United States. In fact, recently, the school just signed an agreement with the city of Houston. It seems like Bezos is turning his attention to early education. Up next, free education. This is a Montessori-inspired preschool that'll serve kids between the ages of 3 and 5. It'll be on for a full year and a full day. It prioritizes children in underserved communities, and on top of that, it's free. The aim of this school is to nurture the potential in every child to become a creative leader, original thinker, and lifelong learner, according to its website. This sounds like a sweet deal. So at this point, you're probably wondering if you can send your kids to this school. So you're only eligible to attend if your income level is up to 400% of the federal poverty level. So for example, if your household of 4 earns $106,000 or fewer per year, then your kid would be able to go here. However, it would be competitive, because half of the seats in the school are already reserved for households that make up 250% of the poverty level. Finishing up, the curriculum seems to be inspired by the man himself. The school has claimed that it relies on a Montessori-like syllabus. This means that it emphasizes self-directed learning, discovery, and collaboration. The teachers are trained using the Montessori method and have the same sets of materials as other teachers. The materials for this curriculum should stimulate the kids' senses. Jeff himself attended a Montessori school, and according to his mom, he was so engrossed in his activities as a preschooler that his teachers would have to literally pick him up out of his chair so he could get on to the next task. It seems like he really enjoyed it there. And he isn't the only successful person to go to these schools. The co-founders of Google, Larry Page, and Sergey Brin also attended these preschools. So one thing's for sure, folks are probably rushing to get their kids enrolled so they too can be evil billionaires in the future. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the Bezos Academy though? Would you send your kids there? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.